A lot of simple reactions can be classified as either combination, decomposition, displacement, combustion, or metathesis reaction. A combination reaction is also known as either also known as synthesis or composition, and it's fairly easy to tell if a reaction is of combination type. Basically, you have just one product. So you have two or more reactants combining to make one product. Decomposition is the opposite of composition or opposite of combination, and this is usually aided by heat or electricity. If you want this to happen, okay, typically you have a reactant which would have to be at least it has to be a compound, and when you heat or apply electricity to that reactant, you can generate two or more products. Okay, so usually when you put a triangle symbol under an arrow, that means heating is involved. Displacement, also known as single replacement, involves a reaction of an element with a compound. And basically what happens there is an element from the compound gets displaced by the element that reacted with the compound. Okay, so your product is also an element and a compound. Combustion reaction involves reactions with oxygen, O2, from the air. So this is basically a burning reaction. Involves burning. So the products of burning are the oxides of the elements in your reactant, and of course you can produce heat. You produce heat and light as well. Okay. Metathesis reaction, also known as double replacement or double decomposition, generally involve mixing of two compounds in aqueous solution, and one of the products you get is either a precipitate or water or weak acid, and then you can have another product. So let's look at a few examples. Let's classify the following reactions. Let's look at the first one. This is chalk. If you heat it, you get calcium oxide, which is also known as quicklime, which is used to make cement, and carbon dioxide gas. So what kind of reaction is this? So here, look, you have a triangle underneath the arrow. That means it's being heated. Here you have one reactant making two or more products. Two products in this case, so this would be decomposition. Let's look at this second reaction here. You have aluminum solid and iron oxide. Iron 3 oxide gives you iron solid and aluminum oxide. This is known as a thermite reaction. It's a very interesting reaction. There's a lot of videos on this you can see on the internet, on YouTube. And this is a reaction involving welding. And so you subject this mixture of aluminum and iron oxide to very high temperatures, and you get this reaction to happen. So what type of reaction is this? Well, you have an element and a compound, and what happened here? One of the elements in the compound got displaced. It's now freed up, but it's not a free element after the reaction, and the original element is now part of a new compound. So this would be what you would call displacement, or would classify as displacement or single replacement. Okay, how about this next one? You have ammonia gas and hydrogen chloride gas. That gives you a salt, ammonium salt. So anytime you have ammonia, if you react it with an acid like HCl, you get a salt. In this case, your salt is ammonium chloride. What type of reaction is this? Well, you have two reactants combining to just make one product. So this would be what you would classify as combination. So it's pretty straightforward. Next we have here SO2 gas plus water. So this is something that could happen near a volcano. You get SO2 gas being produced by the volcano, and then water comes in the form of rain. So typically when you have a non-metal oxide and water, the product of the reaction would be an acid, sulfuric acid. So the rain near volcanoes is typically acidic. Okay, so you have sulfurous acid right here. Again, you can see you have two reactants here making just one product, so this is also combination. Let's look at the next one. That should be pretty obvious. This is what happens if you want to if you mix copper with silver nitrate, you get silver. Okay, and copper nitrate, you have a compound and an element. And what happened here? This element copper displaces silver, kicks silver out of its compound, so now you have copper nitrate, and the silver is freed up as a free element, as an element. So this was again displacement or single replacement reaction. Here's another reaction. This is the reaction that occurs in the space shuttle. As you know, when we exhale carbon dioxide, and in the space shuttle, it's an enclosed system. You don't want to build up too much carbon dioxide, otherwise you're going to eventually poison the astronauts. So what you do is you have canisters of this lithium hydroxide. They react with carbon dioxide, and they convert into lithium bicarbonate, LiHCO3, a solid, so it removes carbon dioxide from the air. So what type of reaction is this? Well, you have two reactants making one product, so this would be a combination reaction.